Hey guys, in today's video, we will train your polygonal modeling skills by creating a model from scratch. Our playlist with all the videos in the series is in the card above in the video description. If you like the contents, subscribe to the channel, leave your like and comment here what I would like to see in the next videos. So, let's go to class. Let's start by creating a rectangle. We adjust the size. Let's center it in the skin and cover it to editable poly. In vertices mode, we will select all vertices and apply a chamfer, leaving the corner rounded. Now, in face mode, let's apply an insert. With Ctrl selected, we return to the vertices mode to select these vertices. Let's deselect this and drag this part to the left. Here is good. Now let's delete these edges and create a null edge down and forward here. Let's complete the mesh with the cuts. Okay, after that, we will apply a symmetry on the y-axis with the flip on. We convert it back to editable poly and delete the Z from the center. Once that is done, let's add some segments with Alt 1. Let's align the loop on the y-axis. We add a new one down here and also align in Y. Now let's select the Z's. In the side view, we will drag them backwards, creating this curvature in the part. We adjust the edges so that follow the flow of the form. So, let's extrude the edges by holding Shift to add thickness to our part. We align it on the Z-axis so that this part is straight. Returning to the front, let's add a new loop here. Align it on y-axis. In Add mode, we adjust this loop a little. Let's select these lines and with the connect of edges, we insert 4 loops that will also align the axis of our Y. Once this is done, we will insert a new loop here. We will complete the shape at the top and also at the bottom. Let's select the entire loop and with the edge constraint, we align it on the x-axis and position it correctly. Now let's keep in some lines selected to create a detail in this part of the model using the chamfer. Here, we'll have a detail on the edges that we'll correct by applying a new chamfer to these lines and then selecting all the vertices, and we apply a weld to join all the points. We also apply a chamfer to the edges so that there is a curvature in this detail. We delete the edges and connect the vertices with the cuts. Here, we insert a new loop and connect to the dots. Now, let's select the entire object except this side face. Let's create a copy of this front part. We apply a flip and align it on the Z-axis. Now, with vertex neck turned on, we align this face to the model vertices. We go to Edge mode, hold Ctrl and switch to the vertices mode to select all edges, vertices and apply a weld to join them together. Once this is done, we will select the edges of the model and apply a chamfer to create a detail on the sides of the piece. Now let's select this face to create a knot in this part of the model using extrude. Let's fill our mesh correctly by inserting a new loop and connecting the vertices. I do this process using Alt-1 to insert a new loop and Ctrl-Shift-A to insert a new edge between 2 points. Also the cut. Once this stage is complete, we already have a basis for what our model will be today. Now let's create a new line in this part using cuts, and again we insert a new loop with Alt-1 and connect it with connect of edges. We do the same process on the bottom and top of the model. I'm also going to insert a new loop here to hold in the overall shape of the model. We fill the hole with the new loops to connect the stitches that are loose in your play. Once that is done, let's create a detail on this front of model, something like a notch for a display. Just by selecting this face, let's use the insert and then extrude it to create a detail. We add some support loops. In the central part of this screen, we also insert 2 new loops to keep in the shape. Let's insert a new loop in this part using the ring and then the add connect. I will use the value of 80. Let's do the same process in all this space we create. In this space, we will create it then and delete the bottom loop. We insert on here at the top too. On the edges, also insert 2 loops to keep in the hard corner, the same on the back. We will add a new loop in this part as well to maintain the shape of the model. I'm going to add Open Subdivide to check if everything is working. We see that we need some loops in this part to keep the edges hard. I needed to add a loop here in this part. We see how the model is. I believe this notch could be a little deeper. Let's select all this face and drag it more inward. Okay, now it's better. And we now have the model working correctly. Let's now fill in the shape on the back of the model. As we are going to create a detail of the part, I'm going to select all this face, we are going to shrink and are going to use insert. Now, holding Shift, we are going to extrude this face inward a little less. We will add support loops to keep in the edge hard, and we will add a new insert. We now have this open to create that detail inside. To do this, we will add an Edit Poly. Select this edge and create a new shape from this line. I'm going to delete this edit poly, we don't need it anymore. I will isolate the selection and change the color of this line to make it easy to see. Now let's go to line and create a new line. Adjust it so that it goes through to entire model. Let's enable render in viewport. I will use rectangle mode. We adjust the line thickness and with its parameters. I will also adjust its position. Let's adjust the angle of this piece here. And reduce its thickness a little. Now, I'm going to center the pivot on part and create some copies. Just holding Shift and drag. I'm going to create 60 copies here. Let's delete those that passed from the model. I will select all the copies, convert them to editable poly, and then use attach to join them all together. Let's return to our shape that was created. Let's add a thickness to this shape. Make sure the model goes through all of the details. We convert it to editable poly. I will return to the lines we created and we will apply a boolean in subtract mode and select our shape. Once it is done, we convert it to editable poly again. In element mode, we will select this XX mesh and delete it, since we don't need this part. Now let's return the model and see that this detail is already working correctly. Returning to the model, I will add support loops in this area and 2 new loops in the center of our display. Now, to finish our model, I will create some buttons and details on the sides of the model. This step will be accelerated, since this process is very simple but repetitive. I will add some music, and I will come back to finish it. Returning here, I will create one last detail in the model. With this face selected, we will apply a tessellate. I'm going to change this shape to a circle. The two top faces are incorrect. To solve this, we will keep this selection only in the two circles. Let's change the gizmo to local align and let's rotate this face so they look correctly. Once this is done, let's select this face again. Apply an insert. And drag them inside, creating this detail. I'm going to increase the size of the circles a little. Again, change the gizmo to local align and increase the scale. Ready. Here, I recommend that you use your creativity to create more details in the model. Feel free to increase details and add new form to this piece. Today the video ends here. See you next time. Bye! Subscribe to the channel, it's very important.